Welcome everybody to our Greene Acres. If you are new to my channel, I want to introduce myself. My name is Teresa. Today's video is going to be a fun one because today is the second Saturday of the month, so that means that I co-host this challenge with the Crafting Cousins. We do this every second Saturday of each month. So we are going to bring y'all along, and there will be a playlist down below in my description box. So make sure to check that out because there's going to be a lot of great videos of thrifted items and how everybody upcycles and makes home decor from it. So as always, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I hope y'all get lots of inspiration and ideas for your home. Okay, let's get started, y'all. The first project I'm going to make over is going to be this little letter bin. This is solid wood and it looks like it's handmade, but it's old. I got it at a yard sale and I paid $2 for it. So the first thing I did, I chalk painted it linen white with a couple of coats. Then I went over it with a sanding block and I distressed it. And it distressed really well. Now I'm going to take some little rubber stamps that I have. These will be linked in my Amazon store. And I'm just going to go over all three of the little dividers, and I'm going to go over the center of it with this little stamp. This little stamp doesn't have anything in the center, but you could always, add something to it. If you have transfers or decoupage, a little saying or something in that little blank spot, you absolutely could. And you could even label it and put, your bills, letters, whatever it had on this to begin with. You could also do that. But this little caddy right here, you can hang it on the wall, or you can just add like some greenery and florals to it and just make it into a little pretty spring and summertime little decor piece. I just think it's so unique. And just, it just adds a little bit of a different kind of character to your home decor. So now I'm going to stage it for you and just give you some ideas of how you can use it in your home.
Teardrops start to dry, even when the sun begins to shine again. Taking all the advice there is, and none of it has helped. Experience has made me realize that I won't build my life on empty words. Being so damn naive, it only hurts. I'm so tired of love songs, life never turns out the way they do. I've been trying for so long, looking for someone who wants me to. I've heard every cliche there is, and none of them makes sense.
Okay, the next project is going to be a thrifted item. This is an item I got at Goodwill, and I think I paid yeah, there we go, $1.99. It says chocolate on it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it saying chocolate because who doesn't love chocolate? But I'm going to turn it into something. Since we're getting close to Memorial Day, I'm going to make something patriotic out of it. So I just went over it with some white linen chalk paint. I used my candle wax. Before I applied my paint, and if y'all been with me very long, y'all know that's a method that I use a lot. Before I paint, you apply your candle wax to your base, put your paint on, and then you can distress with that little plastic scraper. Or you don't have to use sandpaper, let's put it that way, because it'll just scrape right off. So now I'm going to take a stencil, and this is a stencil pack that I purchased from Amazon last year. It's got a lot of patriotic type stencils in it, and I will have it linked in my Amazon store, and it'll be under the stencil category. But I'm just taking a couple of colors of chalk paint. I'm taking a Waverly red, and then that other one is a blue, and I think it came from Hobby Lobby. Now I just took a couple of parts of the stencil to make it fit on my board, and then I'm just going to sand over it, just make it look a little bit more worn, and just rub the sandpaper dust off of it. Now we're going to take some fabric, and you can get creative here and use whatever kind of fabric you have. You could rip up bandanas, just whatever color that you want to go with, but I'm going to go with some blue and some red ticking stripe, and you can get this from Hobby Lobby, and you can also order it from burlapfabric.com. So I'm just going to rip it in strips, and I'm going to make my strips about 24 inches, but you can make it as long or as short as you want to. And you can also add lace in this. You could add raffia. Like I say, you can just get creative with it. Because basically what we're going to do now is we're just going to make a really rustic looking little fabric a little garland across the bottom of it, and all I'm doing is I'm just attaching them to the back using a little bit of hot glue. Now I'm just going to work my way all the way across the little back of the board. And if you have any areas where you know you need to add another strip, I did. You can just go back and just kind of add a strip in, wherever you feel like it needs one. And that is all you do. And it's that simple. Now, also on your wood, you could use a stencil, you could use decoupage, you could even put a napkin on it if you had a patriotic napkin. You could even put some stars up there if you had some. I did not have any, but if you had some wooden stars, I think that would be cute also. And this is what it looks like. So now you can hang this, somewhere in your home. You can hang it on a door. Just hang it somewhere if you're going to have a patriotic event or, a vignette in your home.
I always thought that love was made for me.
I also want to show you another inexpensive option for a hanger, and that is this really pretty jute rope that I found at Dollar Tree. So just another option, and I'm going to show you how I tied it on and made another, option for a hanger for it. And I think this jute rope worked perfect. So if you're in Dollar Tree, keep a lookout for this because I think this will make great jute rope for your patriotic projects for Memorial Day and also 4th of July.
Songs, I'm sick and tired of love songs. I'm so tired of you. I'm so tired of you.
Okay, the next project is going to be one of my favorites. I'm going to use this new Jamie Ray Vintage Decoupage paper. This is called Marie Antoinette, and y'all, she is beautiful. She is a 30 by 20. She's a decoupage paper. So what we're going to do is we are going to apply her with some liquid patina. You could also use Mod Podge. Now, when I got her, I had no idea what I was going to put her on because she was so big, but I found this at a yard sale for $5. I got Ben to hold it up for me. It is almost as big as he is. But it's a beautiful painting. It's kind of Tuscan style, but it does have some raised painting on it where they went in with like a paint blade and they just kind of made like little paint chunks on it. So, I was kind of worried, like, is this going to work? But I love the scroll ornate detail to it. So we just laid it down on the workbench outside and we decided to go over it with some sandpaper. And also in a minute, you'll see we're going to use our sander. We're just trying to get a little bit of that texture. Some of those really bad paint chunks, we're just going to try to get them leveled down as much as we can, just so it's not too lumpy. But we are going to leave some so it'll still have sort of a textured look to it. So being measured, we are not going to need this whole canvas here. It is so long. So we're going to cut some of it off, and we are going to allow enough that we can roll it back around the pole when we get her finished. So in the little ends, the little balls on the ends of the dowels, they remove. So I unscrewed one of them, and of course I took the canvas off while we were working on it, and we've got it smoothed down as about the best we can. So I'm just going to go over it, and I'm going to use some DIY White Swan chalk paint, and y'all, I love this paint. It is awesome. My friend Jackie over at Ruth and Ruby, she sells these products, and I'm going to leave a link to her store down below. But y'all, I love this paint. It's got really good coverage to it, and I've been real happy with it. I've almost used my whole container so far. Now on the poles, I put a little of the White Swan on them and started painting them, but then I decided I had some kind of, little cream color spray paint, so I did go over these and spray paint them too, just to give them more of a smooth finish. Now we're going to go back, and since we've got the canvas painted, we're going to attach the pole back on, just so we'll have everything complete, so we'll know exactly where we need to place Marie before we put her down and we decoupage her on. And y'all, at this point I'm a little bit nervous. I'm like, okay, I love this decoupage paper and I hope I don't mess it up. But it all worked out. But we're just going to measure, make sure we've got her centered really good, and we're going to work in 2 sections. I'm going to do the bottom section first, and I'm getting Ben to hold it down for me because I was afraid to put tape, on her. I was afraid, I would rip the paper. So he's just holding down the top, and I'm just going to go and do the half from the top down to the bottom. Now I want to put plenty of the DIY liquid patina down, and I want to make sure, I've got good coverage. I rubbed it down real good with my hand, and then I'm going to go over it very lightly. Be very careful so you don't rip your paper, because this paper's thin, but just go over it with a brayer. Once I got the bottom secured and I got it smoothed out, now I'm going to work on the top half. Again, Ben is just going to, hold it back for me, and then I'm going to make sure I apply a lot of the liquid patina to make sure I get on the edges and in the center really good. And you want to work out as many bubbles and wrinkles as you can. And then again, I'll take my brayer and I'll just lightly smooth her out just to make sure, I get as many wrinkles. But y'all, this turned out absolutely beautiful. Now this little sheet right here, big sheet, was I think between $8 and $9. So she is not an expensive item, but I think you will really love putting her on something if you've got a piece of furniture or something, just get creative with it, because she turned out so pretty. So I do have another one. I ordered two from Jackie. I wanted two of them. So if I get something else and she fits on it perfect, I'm going to do something else with her. Currently, I have not put her up in my home yet, but I'm definitely going to find a special place for her. So stay tuned. I'm hoping to do a summer home tour. So she will definitely be up where I find a permanent home for her. So just right now, I'm just going to, let you see how I've got her hung on a little clothes hanger that I have upstairs. But I also wanted to mention that I did not seal the top of her. You can, if you want to, you could also put the liquid patina on the top, or also take her outside and spray her with a clear, spray to protect the top. So that is optional. I'm just going to have her hanging on the wall, so, she should not get damaged, but I just kind of wanted to throw that in there. And make sure to go out and check out Ruth and Ruby's link down below if you want to order her. Jackie has these in stock. Now I want to tell y'all about the Thrift Flip Road Trip that I host with the Crafting Cousins every Saturday of the month. And y'all, it's the second Saturday. So make sure to check out the playlist. I'm going to put it in my description box, and go out and watch all the other videos in today's challenge. Now the next project is kind of like a little trash to treasure. I got these little boots at Target in the bullseye section, and I paid $3 for them. I've had them several years and I've enjoyed them this color. And I was about to donate these, and then I thought the new transfer book from IOD, and I'm going to put the name of it right here because I can't pronounce it. It's got a ton of little vintage seed packet type labels, transfers in it. And I thought, what a great way. And a lot of these really match the color of my little boots. I thought about spray painting them white, but I thought, you know what? I do love the green. And a lot of times at Goodwill, they have Target items. I guess they get discontinued, or they don't sell at Target, and Target, I guess, donates them on to Goodwill. So there's a chance you could find these. If not, I have done several videos of where you can get little kids little rubber boots, and or adult rubber boots, and you can spray paint them, whatever color, and you could do that, and you could put your transfers on some real rubber boots. So just another idea. But I'm just going to just beef up my little boots and do something a little bit different with them. So I'm just applying a couple of the labels, and then I went around with my fingernail to distress it, just to give it more of a little worn, peeled off look. So now I think these are so cute, and now I've got a different style to enjoy these with. And I just added some florals and a little bow.
Even when my teardrops start to dry.
Okay, the next project is probably going to be one of my favorite projects to work on, and that is frames. Y'all know, just about in every video, I do something with a frame, because it's something you may already have at home, or you thrift them or get them at yard sales. This one I paid $1.99 for it at Goodwill, and I loved it. I'm not going to do anything to the frame, but I am going to take the back out. I cut a piece of drop cloth just to be a little bit larger than the size of my back, and then I'm going to glue it on. Y'all have seen me do this a bunch of times because I love doing this, and I love drop cloth for my background, and transfers really apply really well to drop cloth. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go around all the sides with some hot glue. I'm going to wrap my drop cloth around and get a real smooth finish, and then I'm going to be ready to start. I'm going to use the same IOD transfer book that I used in the previous project because it's got some beautiful vintage florals in it. So I'm going to take this one and I'm just going to apply it onto the drop cloth, and then I'll put it back in my frame. And this is such an easy and fun project to work on, and it makes some of the prettiest shelf sitters or, wall decor. And I love doing thrifted frames. Before I stage the frame for you, I'm going to show you this little towel holder that I also picked up at Goodwill, and I only paid 99 cents for this. So I'm going to make this into something that I can hang my frame on that I just made. So for 99 cents, I thought this was a great piece. So all I'm going to do is I took those rings off. They came off really easy. And we're going to turn this towel holder into more of like a picture frame holder. And I did not want all of these knobs. It kind of looked a little bit too much like I don't know, something that we studied in geometry or something in school. So I took all of them off, and then I filled in those little holes with some Dollar Tree putty, and I let that dry, and then I just kind of sanded it over, just kind of smooth out any of the rough edges. And then I'm just going to go over it with some white linen chalk paint. I gave it a couple of coats. Then I'm going to go around with my sanding block, and I just stressed it a little bit, and I hung my picture frame on it. And I thought this made a great little stand for 99 cents to display my little thrifted, frame that I just upcycled.
Even when my teardrops start to dry, even when the sun begins to shine again, I've taken all the advice there is, and none of it has helped. I'm so tired of love songs, sick and tired of love songs. I'm so tired of you. Ooh, sick and tired of you. I'm so tired of love songs that never turns out the way they do.
Another fun piece that I always love to work on and make, home decor out of is trays. Now this tray was absolutely beautiful at Goodwill. It had an S on it, so of course my name doesn't start with S, so we're going to fix it up. I got it for $3.99, and the first thing I want to do to avoid bleeding when I go to paint is I'm going to spray it down with that clear shellac, and that should help the wood from bleeding through on my paint. So always treat your wood as best you can with some kind of spray, clear spray before you get started, and that way you won't regret it. Because once you get to painting, you'll think, man, I wish I would have sprayed it first. Because a lot of this wood, it will bleed. Now I'm going to take my farm animal stamps from IOD. I love these, and I love this little sheep. I think he is absolutely precious. So I'm just going to apply my ink to the back of him, and I'm using IOD black ink, and then I'm going to adhere him to the tray. Now once I get him on, I'm going to let him dry. And I forgot to mention, I painted this with DIY White Swan chalk paint. It's a cross between cream and white, and I love the color. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of wording to the bottom. And this right here, I think this wording is from the Traditional Pots IOD transfer book. Y'all know I save all my scraps, and that way I just kind of go through them. And if I need something to add to another project, I just look through my scraps. Now I'll put the handles back on it. They just kind of screwed on and off. So I'll put my handles back on, and now I've got a really cute little French country tray.
I'm so tired of love songs, sick and tired of love songs. I'm so tired of you.
Okay, the next project is going to be a yard sale find, and I got this at our church fundraiser yard sale, and I paid $2 for it. It is a threshold recipe stand. This was sold at Target, and that little Italian cookbook came with it. So I'm gonna paint it, And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in with some white linen Rust-Oleum chalk paint, and I'm going to give it 2 or 3 coats, really 2.5. I kind of gave it 2 good coats, and then I went in the areas that needed some more. Now I distressed it around the edges from around the top and the bottom, and that's going to be it. Now I'm going to go in, y'all. I have missed my stencils. So I pulled my stencils back out because I'm like, I missed my stencils. So I put a little French stencil wording on the top, and y'all know I love these little wood emblems. I have these linked in my Amazon store along with the stencil I just used. And then, that's all I'm going to do to it. And like I say, I distressed it around the edges on the bottom and the top. And then I just added a yard sale vintage good housekeeping recipe book to it. And I think this turned out great. Now, this kind of looks a little bit French country. So now I cannot wait to add this to my kitchen. Okay, y'all, that is going to wrap up today's video. I sure appreciate y'all coming over and watching my channel, and I hope you enjoyed seeing all the thrifted and yard sale items that I upcycled. Make sure to go out and check out the playlist down in my description box and see all the other great videos, because everybody is going to show where they're from and the things that they may upcycle. They may do some trash to treasures, they may do some yard sale thrift store type items, but make sure to go out and check out the playlist. And if you are a YouTube creator, the next challenge will be on June the 11th. I hope you will plan to do a project or projects and join us in the next one. So make sure June the 11th, and we also have a video link below for all the instructions if you want to join in, and I'll have that listed below in my description box. As always, y'all, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I plan to see y'all in my next video, and much love to you, and I hope y'all have a great weekend. Bye, y'all.